Hey, what's going on, fellow trade geniuses? This is Philip, and this is a binary outlook for July 25th, and it's about 6 a.m. in the morning. So, real quick, just wanted to run through some of the setups that we might be looking at taking today. So, let's take a look at some charts. All right, so let's take a look at ES. ES is creeping up in the Globex session, and basically looking at 2476 would be either exit point if you're long, or we would initiate a fade there, short there. We might sell a strike, end of day strike somewhere in this area as we approach that on the first approach. So we'll keep an eye on that. I expect the other indices to follow more or less. Let's take a look at the Forex pairs. Okay. Forex. All right, so nothing imminent that we would hop in on. We don't need to see things run for a couple more hours, I think. So the ones that jump out at me would be the pound, or the dollar yen, I should say, if we got up to the 112.20 area. The other one is the pound yen, if we saw something in the 146.20 area. Another pound pair, the pound dollar, if we saw a leg up to about the 1.3080 area for today. Those are all possible levels that we could see today, and I would be interested in fading those. So that's about it right now for FX. We are a day in front of the Fed minutes on today's Tuesday, so Fed minutes tomorrow, Wednesday. Typically 7 p.m.s get nice and quiet, so I'm going to say keep your eyes peeled for maybe some signals at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. that area, and we should typically see a pretty quiet period into 7 p.m. ahead of the Fed. Okay, so that's FX. Let's take a look at the commodity space. These are all the commodity binary contracts. You have oil here. Oil, I kind of like it up as we get into the top of the magic channel. We're getting into R2, so this 47, let's call it 47.30 area. Be looking to maybe fade that if we get there. Gold, don't know if we'll see 12.43 today, but if we do, would be interested in that. I think what's going to set up though is silver, 16.25 area roughly. Copper over here has just rocketed out of the channel and is basically what will happen here is the channel will expand as we. Right now, what it's saying is relative to the existing move, this is a huge move out. So we'll take a look at this. That might be an interesting fade. Corn and soy, don't really see anything entry worthy at the moment there, so that's the commodities. If we take a look at dailies, and dailies is just going to be our stock indices, so we already kind of covered ES and the levels that we're looking at. It's at bumping up into this midline. As you can see, price does respect that midline, so we may, who knows, we may only see 24.72 today, but the other the NQ, YM, and Russell TF, they're all basically shaped up like this, where they're buttoned into the midline. So that's kind of what the big picture is on the channel move. Now, as far as the yield curve, we went over that yesterday. It was looking pretty bearish, but the yield curve did turn up in the last 24 hours. So I'm not too concerned about a pullback on the ES at this point relative to the yield curve ratio. So I think that's been kind of mitigated for now. We'll keep an eye on it though. I'll give you an update if that changes. Let's look at VIX real quick. As you can see, we are super low here, historic lows, right? One thing I do want to point out is that we've had these intervals of spikes, and so if we went off the spacing here, we'd probably be due for one over here in a day or two. and sometimes we get into these rhythms where you do have a spike move. So maybe we might see a correction for whatever reason in a couple of days on the indices, and we do get a spike above, or maybe next week. But something to keep an eye on relative to that. As far as the this is another chart we'd like to look at. Okay, so this is VIX relative to the currency volatility indices. So you have euro dollar volatility index, you have the pound volatility index, and the yen volatility index. So we like to always see our main stock VIX or indices VIX, our main, because that's what the Nadex moneymakers are pricing off of. They're not using the Forex volatility indices. So when we're in our Forex plays, we want to make sure that we're not disconnected where the FX VIX are way higher than our regular VIX. If that's the case, then we're not getting paid for the risk that we're taking. So, but right now we're good. We're either the FX volatility indices are lower, or as in the case of the euro dollar VIX, we're pretty much there. So that's pretty much it for the outlook on the binaries. We'll signal, like I said, I think 7 p.m.s we might have an entry at 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a good trading day. And if you're in the room, I'll see you in the room. Take care. Bye-bye.